Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the series How to Draw. And we're back again. This is going to be episode 5. And this one is about the male chest. The female and male chests are different. They have a lot of similarities, but also some differences. So we're going to go through how to draw some chests so that they look masculine, and basically I'll show you what the male chest looks like. So just writing some notes here. I've got some shapes already drawn, and what I'm doing here is I'm actually just giving myself a guideline. I'm writing in the notes here to make a rectangle to start with. And really, again, these notes are really what I'm thinking while I'm drawing, so I'm writing them on the page. They're not just for me, but for you also. So I'm making some of these guidelines just to help keep everything looking halfway correct. If you don't use guidelines for things, you can often really draw them askew and they don't look right and you can't figure out why. So I would recommend drawing some guidelines first for the chest, and really for everything we're going to draw. But for this episode, we're doing the chest. I'm noting the muscle, the pectoralis major, and I'm showing here the pec has an angle to it. So like on the sides, the side of the pec angles in towards the shoulder, towards the deltoid. So they're not flat squares. They're like trapezoid type shapes. And we're just thinking in terms of simple shape right now. So I'm just fleshing out some of the details on this first one. Kind of rounding off some of the corners. Put in the center of where the collarbone is. Also, if you look at your own chest, if you're a guy, you'll notice up in the corners, I cut the corners of the boxes off. That's because there is kind of an angle because the shoulder meets there. That's where the shoulder is. And so that shoulder joint of the deltoid forms this kind of angular line up in the top corner. So you want to make sure you get those in to get them looking correct. What I'm doing here is, this is actually something that I learned from Bern Hogarth, who's an artist who has a couple books out. I don't know if he's quite as popular as Andrew Loomis, but I think I write later how to do that, but basically to put the nipples on the chest, any chest, either the female or the male, to put them on the chest correctly, you basically do a 45-degree angle from the center of the clavicle, 45-degree angle down, and just above where they stop is where the nipples would go. And that's like the correct way to place them. I never knew that there was a technically right way to do it until I read the section on the chest in the Bern Hogarth book, and actually that's where I got the information from. So there's a mathematically correct way to place the nipples. So if you're struggling with where to put the nipples on the chest and they don't ever look right, that's why. It's a 45-degree angle from the center of the chest. So do that and they'll be right every time. I'll make a note of it later, but I just wanted to explain what I was doing there. That's the one part about drawing that takes so much practice is consistency. And even I'm starting to get more consistent, but I struggle with it. It's how consistent are you at making drawings that look correct or that are correct? And that's just something that I've been struggling with for years, and I'm starting to finally kind of break through that hurdle. Oh yeah, here I'm writing the notes. This is an interesting trick that I've known for a long time. If you want to find the center of whatever you're drawing, you basically draw an X. If it's a box, you basically draw an X, and wherever the lines cross, that's the exact center of that box. That's a non-mathematical way to find the center of any box or rectangle without sitting there measuring for 5 minutes. I hate measuring. So there you go. That's the exact center of a box. It's like carpenters will teach you that trick too, but I don't remember when I learned that, but it's been a while. I learned that a long time ago. You can do that for drawing windows. You can do that for literally anything you're drawing. If you need it inside of a rectangle and you need to know exactly where the exact center is, draw that X, and that'll be the exact center, and it'll at least make your drawing look a lot more believable. So again, putting in the nipples. I don't really like drawing nipples. I don't know. Maybe on guys it's okay, but on women, I don't know. I just don't really like it. But we'll get into the women's chest next video. Oh, here I'm writing, you don't have to add the nipples. Mostly they will be covered anyways. That's exactly why I don't like drawing them. It just seems pointless to me. Like, it's weird because as soon as you draw the nipple, then the person looks naked. I don't know why that is. As soon as you draw nipples, then, oh my gosh, they're naked. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. So I don't really draw nipples because, like, most of the time your characters are going to have clothes on anyways, or a suit or something. But for the purposes of, like, learning, you really still need to know how to draw nipples, and I think you should put them on your study drawings, but really you don't need to draw them for like your characters that you're drawing or something. So here I'm doing a 3/4 shot of the chest. Just put in the shoulder. I'm doing the 45-degree angle trick again for the nipples. Actually did that one a little bit wrong, it looks like. But it's what the eraser's for. I don't know if I fixed it. I can't remember. I filmed this a few days ago. So again, I'm noting here that the side of the pec is not a straight line. Like, it's angled. It's angled in toward the deltoid. And it attaches actually to that deltoid muscle. The pec attaches into the shoulder, basically. Well, the deltoid. We always think the deltoid is the shoulder. The deltoid technically is not the shoulder. Want to make sure we're drawing the corners of the pec muscles connecting into the shoulder, and they connect like roughly in the center. Roughly in the center. I mean, if you're trying to do like a likeness of somebody, then yeah, you got to pay attention, but roughly in the center. And you know what you should do? Feel your own body. Like if you're not sure, put your hands on yourself. And what you should do is, if you're not sure, go ahead and just feel around. Like, say, okay, where does this muscle go? Touch it and see, okay, where does it go into? And so I'm touching my pec right now, and I'm noticing that it goes into the deltoid, and that's where it attaches. It attaches into the deltoid. It's not below the deltoid. It's like in. It doesn't. The pec doesn't go below it. The pec attaches in the middle. That's something that I've seen a lot of people get wrong, and it's very easy to correct if you know where it goes. So here I'm drawing a 3/4 view from the other side, from the other direction. Also, the other thing, if you're drawing it from this angle, you want to make sure that when you draw the edge of your deltoid, make sure though that line for the edge of the deltoid is crossing over the angled line of the pec. It'll basically push that delt forward and make it look like the delt is in front. So, I don't know. We'll get more into that kind of thing, like overlapping stuff later. But that's what you want. You want it to overlap so that it'll visually look like it's in front of the deltoid. Or it'll look like the deltoid is in front of the pec, technically, is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, just another little tip. So again, I really recommend, if you're going to follow these videos and draw each body part, use boxes, use rectangles, use these shapes to help you as guides so that your proportions are more accurate. Every time I use a box to put something, I draw a box and I put the object that I'm drawing inside the box, and the proportions are so much better because of it. I don't do it every single time, but I'm saying, since we're trying to learn with these videos, I'm taking extra time and I'm really thinking, okay, if I draw boxes, my proportions will be right. Instead of drawing, one pec like 3 inches too long or something like that. So take the time and draw some rectangles, and then draw the pecs inside of them. So here's an upshot. So basically, this is drawing the pecs and looking up at it. These angles can be hard to get right. I actually learned something from Jim Lee. I think maybe last year. I was watching one of his, podcast videos or whatever. He does a Twitch stream or something, and he was explaining how to get something to look like you're looking up at it or like you're looking down at it. And he had the analogy of a soup can. Like if you look at a soup can and then you raise the soup can up above your eye level, the curve of the top of the soup can is going to be curving up. And if you go below your eye level, the curve of the soup can is going to curve down. And so that's how you make something look like you're looking up at it or looking down at it. You basically curve it up if you want it to look like you're viewing up. If you curve it down if you want it to look like you're viewing it from a downward angle. So there you go. A Jim Lee tip. Jim seems to be very generous with his knowledge. I mean, he just like gives away all the things that he knows. And I mean, none of this is really a secret. I mean, it's all taught in books, but again, this series is really my take on everything and what I've learned. But I've learned from a lot of other people, so that's why I'm giving you tips from some of the masters. Jim Lee's a living master. And here I'm drawing the down shot. I would say I struggle a lot with the down view. The downward view is harder for me to do than the upward view. I would say even on a face, the upward face view is easier for me than the downward face view. Something I need to practice. See, I'm struggling here. I think I get it eventually. But even I struggle still, and even doing some of these lessons, I've struggled. But that's the point. We're all learning, and we're all at our own spot in our learning journey. That's the whole point. Just because I'm making these videos and teaching you doesn't mean I'm actually it doesn't mean I'm a master. I'm not a master. I'm teaching you what I know. So even I struggle still. So here I'm just trying to figure out this downward shot. I'm really struggling with it, and I'm just thinking really hard, like what would this look like if I was looking down at it, and trying to implement, the soup can technique that Jim talked about, and trying to get it to look halfway decent. I think I succeed in a minute here. So here I'm stalling. You'll notice if I start struggling, I'll start drawing something else. I wrote a note down there that I didn't mention. In the bottom corner, I'm mentioning follow the curves of whatever your perspective is. That's another thing. I maybe forgot to do that at first, but if you draw a box and you're trying to draw the down view, basically all your lines have to be curved. But it's weird. It's a mental game, because in real life we know that like not every line is curved. Or I'm sorry, there are no lines in real life, but not every bone in our body is curved, right? But to create the illusion of something that's a 3D object on a 2D space, we have to, know these tricks to create this illusion that it's curving. And again, wow, I'm really struggling with this. I feel like I had it more in that last one. In the one that the one that I drew a minute ago. And then I must have erased it. Normally I would cut all this out, but you know what? It's fine. Like I said, we all struggle with our own things, and My struggle is I struggle with a downward view. I struggle with twisting and bending. I think I'm kind of giving up on this one for now. I think I've had enough. I'd have to really practice that with some more references, but I did okay for what I was trying to show you. Okay, so I can't remember what we're doing here. I think I was just drawing some more shapes, and I was going to kind of make up some angles based on that. I think here I do like one laying down. I'm not sure. We'll see. This is another side view, I believe. And you can follow along with me. That's what I'm hoping that you will do. That's the point of these videos. But just pause it if you want to follow along and draw along. Okay, this is directly from the side. Okay. Couldn't remember. So what's cool about these boxes is you could basically create any angle you want. I'm doing a laying down view here, I think, where it's like flat. I think that's what I'm doing. But that's the cool thing about these boxes is you can really create any angle you want, basically, and that's why I think it's a good idea to practice how to draw these shapes inside these boxes. It'll help you with perspective, and it'll make your drawings actually have some perspective instead of being flat and straight, like just flat 2D all the time. I think this is another down shot that I'm doing because I really screwed up the first one and I wanted to get better at it. That's the key. Just keep drawing this stuff over and over and over and over again. It gets boring sometimes, but I'm not really that bored with it. I used to be, but over the years I've kind of started to enjoy just practicing like this, where that's all I'm doing is doing a practice drawing or sketching. I think I like doing this more than I like doing finished pieces. Yeah, I think this is a better down shot. I couldn't remember that I did this, but I must have wanted to do another one. So basically, for example, based on where I put that chest, I could essentially finish that figure if I wanted to. I don't have enough room on the page, but I could finish that figure, and it would be like an extreme down shot. You'd be looking down at it. Just trying to show you some different angles of what you might see when you look from different views. That's why I'm drawing that's why I'm drawing the down shot or the side view here. And then I'm gonna put the arm in. Here I'm putting the arm in. So what you might see from the side when you lift the arm. And again, I'm not using reference for this stuff. I'm really thinking very hard. And I'm thinking, okay, what would this look like? And I want you to do the same thing. What would this look like if it was moved? And try to envision it in your mind. And draw what you see in your head. And that's very hard to do, and that's why I'm doing it, because I want to get better at that. That's another thing I want to get better at. Like I said, is not relying on reference all the time. Reference is great, and you should use reference, but I want to get better at making my own stuff, and I don't want to have to use reference every single time I draw something. So I'm really thinking hard, what would this look like? And I'm finding that if I think hard enough about something and I just keep practicing it, I will get it eventually. Oh, I'm doing another angle here. Oh, I wrote, this is a good view for if you're flying, if you have a character that's flying, or if you're looking directly at it, like, it's basically a good flying pose, or a good view of the, it's not a pose, I'm making a view of what the chest might look like if you were in a flying position, where you've got the head really large, and then the pecs on this, like, they're basically facing forward, and actually you should be curving those pec muscles a little more. It would look better. I don't think I fixed it, but I should have. So again, no reference for this. I mean, I might be drawing this incorrectly a little bit, but I don't want to use reference every time. I'm getting kind of tired of that, to be honest. I'm trying to view it in my mind and then say, okay, this is what it looks like. That's why sometimes I'm struggling a lot. So here I'm attaching the head. I put in the neck just to get an idea. And I'm saying that's not right. I'll fix it. Remember what Joe Kubert said, if it looks wrong, it is wrong. So here I am fixing it again, trying to make it look better. I don't think I end up drawing any more of this one, but I'm just trying to get the idea across. And the shoulders on the top. I think I was trying to, put the arm in an interesting position, and I gave up on it. That's all right. If I were to draw this again, I would actually think that the head would be actually even bigger. It'd be larger, and it would be, the chin would kind of be protruding below the, well, I think the chest is too small. I think the chest needs to come out. The pecs need to come out a little more. But anyway. So what I'm trying to show you also with these videos is, like I keep saying, you don't need reference for everything. If you think hard enough and you say, okay, what do I know about this? I'm trying to draw the chest. What do I know about the chest? And just really think about what you know and try to apply what you know. And that's really what I'm doing with these. Is not that I'm against using reference, but I also have to film this, and my only camera is with my phone, so I can't look at reference on my phone while I'm drawing these. So I'm mostly making these up. So I'm cleaning this one up. I did a better job on this pose. This downward shot, I did a better job at this one. So I'm in no way telling you not to use reference ever. I'm saying when you're trying to really get better at visualizing drawing what's in your head, like, just do it with practice. Like, I wouldn't say don't do a finished piece without reference. I would use reference probably for like a finished piece. But if you're just trying to practice, you can definitely do it without reference. So there you go, episode 5, how to draw the chest. Hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. See you next time.